Welcome back to Module 3 of the Microsoft OneNote course. In this video, we'll discuss some of the ways that you can create content in OneNote using the program's various authoring tools. For the purpose of this training, I've created a section labeled Training in my notebook. I'm going to go to the OneNote app now and navigate there to begin this module training. As you can see, I'm back in the OneNote notebook that I started back in Module 2. I have my section labeled Employee Training. At the bottom of the page, as we spoke about in the last module, you will notice that it has an option to add a page. I'm going to add my page and name it Practice Page. You can see that as I typed Practice Page, the text changed over here on the main page as well. And again, I can organize these so that they're in any order. I'm going to make it so that my practice page is at the top. And for the purpose of this training, I'm going to go ahead and delete the pages that we created before, just so that we can clean this up a little bit for usability. So I'm going to go ahead and delete those other two pages now. All right, so I have my employee training section. I have my practice page that we'll be working on. As you can see, the name practice page is here at the top. It tells me the last time that it was edited, which of course is right now. So now that I've created my page, I get to decide what I want my students or my team members to see on my page. This is called creating content. So I have a couple of different options for how to build my page. Let's start by looking at the toolbar to better understand our authoring options. So the toolbar can be located here at the top. You can see it says Home, which is where we currently are. If you click it again, it'll minimize itself. Home, Insert, Draw, View, and then you have a tab that says Class Notebook, which we will really primarily use in the next and final module. So in the Home tab, you have a couple of tools that probably look familiar to you. You have some formatting tools. You can see paste up here. And most importantly, you have a text box. So to insert text, you can click anywhere on the page and you can see the cursor appear. Immediately, if you start typing, you will see it brings up a box like this with text inside of it. This box can be moved around anywhere on the page. You can stretch the box as you desire. And of course, you can use these very familiar text tools at the top to change the size, the font, or anything else you would normally do in a program like Microsoft Word or even Google Docs. You can add bullet points or bulleted lists. You can add numbered lists. You can change the color. You can add headings. You can add a to-do list. All of these should look pretty familiar. To delete it, you can simply click on it, hit delete on your keyboard. And I love that if you make a mistake, you can easily undo it with another familiar tool, which is the undo button, and it's located right above the home button at the top. So I'm going to click that now. So the next button is the insert button. If you click the insert button, there are a bunch of different things that you can do here. You could easily insert a table. You can move that around just as before. You can enlarge it as you see fit. You can highlight it and change the font to any color or anything that you need. You'll notice that once I started to move it around, it took me back to the home section. I want to make sure I click back on insert. So my favorite tool, of course, I'll click File first. File just simply inserts a file to the notebook. So I can click this file that I have here. It gives me a couple options of how I want to insert it. You can upload it as a OneDrive file and insert the link. You can insert it as an attachment or a printout. So I'm going to get to printout in just a second. That is my favorite tool. For now, I'll just insert it as an attachment. So you'll see it comes up right here. Those files are movable. I can place them wherever they need to go. This next tool, printout, is my favorite. I use this all the time. If you click it, I'm going to click that same file. And now it actually automatically, this file is already a PDF, but it will automatically turn any file into a PDF, and it will insert it as a printout so that the file is open on the page. When you do that, you'll notice that it input a file automatically. That file that I just put in before is still there. I like to just delete that file. And the cool thing is that this printout is still here. You can take this now and you can move it anywhere on the page and design your page as you see fit. You can see that as I scroll up to the top, I can move it up to be a little bit closer. And one important thing I want to talk about when inserting a printout or even an image, let me go ahead and insert the image before I show you this trick. So picture is the next button at the top. And if you select a picture, just like before, you double click it, it'll add that picture. You can move it, make it bigger, change wherever it is on your screen to suit your design needs. One important thing, whether you're working with students who are adults or high school students, middle school students, if you right click on your printout, you'll see that it should say set picture as background. That's really important to do this for really, it doesn't matter if they're adults or children, really important to do that because now when this notebook page gets pushed out to your learner, they're unable to move or manipulate this, so that if they want it to use their tools and they want it to, insert a text annotation, can move this over here and they can drag it on top of the printout document without moving this or messing it up. So even if they move their page, their text will remain next to where they wanted it to remain. It will not be moved around or manipulated if the image is moved around, which I think is really important. All right, so let's see, moving back up to that insert tool, you can see, I won't go through every single tool, but there's a ton of things you can do here. You can add a screenshot, add a link. If you are a math teacher or in business, you need to utilize math or equations. You can insert equations to the notebook page. You can use many different line tools to draw shapes. You can add audio recordings here if you want your learner to be able to listen to a translation, or maybe you wanted to explain something verbally, or maybe you're providing some sort of modification for the learner. You can do an audio recording, and you can even add meeting details by selecting the insert button. Many great things that you can do. One of the last things that I want to talk about today is the draw tool. So I'm going to come down on this page a little bit and select the draw tool. The draw tool is awesome. Again, many things you can do here, but the most basic function of the draw tool is you can simply write on this with a stylus or just with your mouse pad or your finger if you have a touch screen. You can select if you want a marker, pen, or a highlighter. I'm going to select a marker today and I'll change to the color red. You can change how thick or thin the marker is. I'll go ahead and change it to 2. And I can begin simply, writing my name. And, this is wonderful for a lot of different reasons. So thinking about your organization and what would best suit them, think about all the ways that this draw tool can work to help collaboration or really help to illustrate a greater point, or to even encourage active learning. I love this highlighter tool as well for that reason. And again, you can change the different colors to that. So as you can see, the possibilities are endless for how to add content. So before I give you some time to build some of your pages in your notebook, I want to show you an example from my teacher notebook to help you think about some of the possibilities that you have for authoring. So let's go ahead and take another quick look. I'm going to go ahead and toggle back to my teacher notebook, and I can show you the module that we are currently on now. So this is a website that the students were asked to complete, and you can see there are links added here that they can follow. You can see that they can simply go ahead to the home button here. I need to remove the draw tool. Let's see. Change this back. And I want to insert some text here. I can have the kids insert text. I've crossed some stuff out with the draw tool that I didn't think was applicable to them. I added a Google Lit trip here, so there are some guided notes that the kids will have to fill in. And then I inserted a link at the bottom for the master lit trip. Here we were working on some TDA practice, so I did the insert printout tool here so that I could work on it with them. And let's see, I have a section here that is blank for me, but I named it usernames and passwords so that as we continue to make accounts throughout the school year, the students can name this page passwords and they can input their individual passwords here so that they don't forget them. I have a file for in case of an emergency with emergency lesson plans. There's a read me first tab, and then that's of course the instructions. And then there are different pages for the students to complete in case of an emergency. As a teacher, aside from my units, I have a warm-up section. So these are labeled by date, and each day there is a different slide with a warm-up that my students will have to use the draw tool to mark up the slide. And again, this is my master copy, so there's nothing on it, but they'll have to actually use the draw tool to mark up the slide. So I hope this module helped to make you better understand some of the basic authoring tools and possibilities within OneNote. Before proceeding to Module 4, please take some time to explore the authoring tools independently. Start building a page of your own. It can be a practice page or a page that you actually intend to use down the road. Remember that you can revisit this video as many times as you need if you get stuck or you need some help. Additionally, if you still have questions, you can use the contact button at the end of this training page to get more personalized assistance. Once you've added some content to your page, you're ready to proceed to Module 4. You've done a great job so far. Keep going. Soon you'll be ready to use OneNote as a part of your day-to-day work routine.